Romantasy seekers, and welcome to today's not energy reading. Goodness me. Today we're going to talk about manifestation and specifically about my favorite manifestation that I've done in the past couple years. So this is about how I created my dream body, and I'm going to show you a picture of where I started and especially when I started. I was 16, so if you haven't watched the first video in this whole manifestation guide, spiritual guidance playlist, feel free to watch that, because I talked about my first real intense spiritual awakening, basically the moment where everything began for me. And I feel like, especially when you're also on a path of awakening and awakening to your own powers and your inner truth, and your own definition of spirituality and how you want to live it, I feel like that first video is crucial to watch, because it's my story, it's what I've experienced, and this is why I created this channel in the first place. So if you're interested in that, I'm gonna link it somewhere on the screen right now, and also in the video description so you can find it. And let's get started. So first of all, my name is Elle, aka Valathera. I am a clairvoyant, and these days not just an author and, well, energy reader, but also the host of the Divine Answers podcast, and I'm so happy to share that with you. So I'm so excited. So let's get started with the video. So why I initially started to create my dream body and to figure out what I like with that was because I always felt heavily masculine in my body. And well, you just saw the picture of me when I was 16. I was not masculine at all, like neither in my style, nor in my aura, nor my behavior or anything else. But I felt very masculine, so I had a huge issue with that. And that was the first time where I felt like my body doesn't fit to me. My body doesn't suit me. And I mean that in the most spiritual, holistic way possible, because I genuinely felt like my soul was too big for the body I was in. So my soul didn't fit into my body anymore. So basically I outgrew my body. That's how you could say it. And so I realized that I wanted to change my body. I wanted to change the way I look like. And as a recap, where I'm coming from, I was always very, very skinny. So skinny that most of my family used to say, well, you should eat more, you should gain more weight, all of these things. Funny enough, I always ate a lot. I was always hungry, so I always ate. I had a very good relationship with food. So that was not the issue. But at one point, I actually wanted to gain weight. Not because of these people told me that, because that actually pushed me more into a body dysmorphia kind of way. So it was not helpful at all. But at one point I realized I want to be more. And I felt that in my soul, there was that calling of, I want to create my body the way that I want to be. And first I actually started by dressing the way that I wanted to dress. I wanted to dress more feminine, more skin tight clothes. I wanted to show how I look like, and not just these baggy clothes or more baggy clothes that I used to wear to hide my skinny body. But I wanted to go out and I wanted to be confident in that and show myself, And I figured out what I thought is really attractive for me, so I became that. So the first point, I wrote down a couple notes over there. So whenever I'm looking over there, it's basically my notes. So I realized how I want to look like and what I want to be able to do. So I set my own beauty standard. And not just my beauty standard, but for example, I love dancing and I love feeling grounded. I love being grounded because that to me is the balance between I'm a clairvoyant and I channel messages from the universe, and I'm a human being and I need to be grounded too. So it's that balancing act. And yeah, I love dancing because this is my personal, yeah, it's the perfect grounding exercise for me because I get to move my entire body and like reconnect to myself. I get to feel my entire body. I get to feel the ground beneath my feet. So I wanted to be able to just dance all the time, like whenever I want to. And I realized over the course of the past 2 years, that's how far I came so far in my like creating my body journey, or creating my dream body journey. I realized more and more what I like. So it's kind of like with creating your first ever vision board for your whole life. You will come back to it after a couple months or years, maybe even weeks, and you'll realize something is missing or something doesn't align with you anymore, and then you change the pictures of the vision board so you realign with your vision, right? So the same thing happened with my dream body. So I obviously had a body goal that I thought was achievable at that time. And also the point that goes into it is when I started weightlifting, because that's the main exercise that I use to like physically form my body through muscle mass and like muscle building. First, when I started that, I was so angry. Like just in general, I had a lot of suppressed anger in me that I kind of collected over the course of a good couple of years, because I was never allowed to speak my voice or say stop, or you know, just have that standing for myself and say, well, here's a boundary, don't you dare cross that, you know. So there was a lot of anger that came up at that time because I started getting very deep into shadow work and like facing my own shadow and facing my inner truth, and really sitting with myself and just acknowledging that there were many things that just went wrong for me and that I want to be able to change that. Simple as that. So that was the moment where I started weightlifting, because again, I was so angry. I had no outlet for that, because for example, the confrontation with the people I was angry or upset with was simply not possible for me at that time. So what I did instead was I wanted to find a healthy way of working with that anger so I could let it out instead of suppressing it and keeping it inside. So I found weightlifting, and I literally just started with like these little the small dumbbells, and I started with 1 kilogram on each side, which is like as much as a water bottle basically. So I started doing just a couple exercises, and the most important thing for me was that I googled exercises for men, not specifically for women. I googled exercises for men that they use to, you know, grow certain parts of your body. So what I did was I had my perfect body that I wanted to have. I had that in mind. I had a picture of that. So I found out what kind of muscles I have to train in order to, for example, grow my chest area, or become stronger in my arms, because I wanted to be able to do a handstand and a cartwheel again and all these things, because I used to be able to do that when I was younger, and then I stopped doing sports like this, and now I wanted to be able to do that again, right? So while I started weightlifting just to let go of this anger and move my body, I saw results within the first 2 weeks because I looked at the mirror and I was shocked. And the crazy thing about this whole story was that it tested my patience and my trust in this manifestation so hard, because I was not able to gain any weight when I was younger. And that was the story I started telling you guys beforehand, or like earlier in this video, because my nervous system was constantly in fight or flight mode because of my family system, which was very toxic for me. So when I quit contact to all of the people who harmed me or who caused harm for me in 2022, that was the first time where I literally felt that I could gain weight. And then I started healing my nervous system with, for example, EFT tapping, meditation, affirmations, grounding exercises, just like the simple things, just like going outside, going for a walk, dancing, or then even weightlifting. Like all of these things that would ground me and reconnect me with myself. For the first time in my life, I was truly able to gain weight and to keep that. And that was like, ooh, that was so good. And then the crazy thing that happened during this time of me starting this weightlifting journey, I did not have a proper mirror in my flat at that time. I don't even know why, I just never got one. So I had like a small makeup mirror that was this big, to be exact, and I never saw myself for about half a year. And then I moved out of this place, and when I, for the first time in half a year, had a full body mirror where I could see myself, I was shocked. I looked at myself, I was like, who is that? That can't be me. It was like so crazy, because it was half a year of me training my body every single day. I would do that religiously. First, just to get along with my anger and let that out. And then over time, it became a ritual to reconnect with myself and to form my body, to move my body. And I started to love it. And like the opposite effect of that was also, well, the effect that got hand in hand with this was that on the single days that I didn't have a workout, I felt like I betrayed myself, because at some point it became part of my, it became part of my high self personality that I would have a workout in a day. So if I didn't have a workout, I felt like I felt bad. So I continued doing that. I enhanced my nutrition even more since I started doing this, because, well, at that time I still struggled with an ED that I had for about 3 years. So I started doing very like small workouts, like getting step by step, because I was afraid of losing more weight, because that was never about losing weight for me. But when I started that weightlifting journey, I got hungry again. I got hungry for more, and not just for food. That was a very positive side effect for me too. But I also got hungry for creating more in my life. And that's what I realized, is that movement, not just exercising in that way, but genuinely just moving your body, creates that connection from your soul, from your mind to your body, that so many people lack in their life. And that's why we are so, well, unaligned. I feel like that's how you could say it. So the second you align yourself, as in your soul and your mind, with your body, and you see it as one thing, and you incorporate your body and your mind and your soul into your manifestations, like you have to embody these things. That's the next video I'm gonna film, by the way, because it's such a huge shift for me, and not just for me, but for in general the manifestation journey of everyone. Because the second you realize that you have to embody your manifestations before you can receive them, that changes your whole perception, your whole perspective of it. Because just as an example, just imagine for a second that you would be gifted €1,000,000 right now. It would sit in your bank account right now. You could do whatever you want with it because it's yours. Your nervous system would be shocked because you probably never had €1,000,000 in your bank account. You don't know about any of the responsibilities that come with it. You probably don't even know what you would do with it. Because I was at that point where I was like, oh, I would like to have $1,000,000 in my bank account, of course. Why not? Why wouldn't I have that? That's very valid. Why wouldn't I have it? And same for you. Why wouldn't you have it, right? But the second I started sitting down and really thinking about what would I do if I had the money right now, I was like, honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I had no idea. And I had no idea for years. And that's why I didn't make the money that I make now beforehand. Because I had no fucking idea what I want to do with the money once I had it. And so that's the whole part of the embodiment, right? It's the question, whatever you want to manifest, is your nervous system able to hold it, to receive it? Because receiving one thing is one thing, but holding it and keeping it, maybe even multiplying it, is a different thing. And that's where your nervous system comes in. And that's why this whole, like, how I manifested my dream body story is so important. Because in the end, whatever you want in your life, you manifest it in the same way. It's through embodiment, and embodiment is basically through calming your nervous system, right? I wouldn't have been able to look the way that I do right now if I hadn't learned to calm and relax my nervous system in every single situation. So the more calm and the more peaceful I just react in my life, well, the less I react to things in my life that don't serve me, the more I feel calm. And the more I feel calm, the more, for example, weight or muscles I can gain, the better and especially easier I can form and create my dream body. And yeah, that's basically the bottom line of this whole video. Whatever you want to receive and create in your life, whatever you want to attract in your life, you have to get your nervous system on the same level with. You have to be calm in receiving this. So another example, just imagine your dream partner that you want to manifest would enter your life right this second, right now. It's a different thing of meeting that person than it is to maintain this relationship. And trust me, within any good and especially healthy relationship, there will be shadows that come up that you can't possibly heal before you enter a relationship. Because for some shadows, we need that mirror in other human beings to see that within ourselves, right? So yeah, that was the video of today, and I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments what your body goals are, what you're manifesting right now. And if you have to add anything to my story, feel free to. I'm happy to read about your story. And yeah, if you're ready to manifest your dream life in the most easy and peaceful and wonderful way, feel free to check out my website because I have many resources over there. So I'm so happy to share all of this with you. It's my calling to share this, and it's my calling to share everything that I learn freely. And I love it so much. It feels so aligned, it feels so good, and I'm so happy you're watching this video right now. So I wish you all a wonderful time, and I'm gonna see you in the next video. Bye!